Several people told her her salary range was too high. Several recruiters, partners, friends, family, mentors. And I remember telling her, I said, look, I do this for a living. I would tell you if it is too high. You're going to organizations that can't afford to pay you that. That's the best thing. If you take nothing else, if you know you want six figures, then why would you go? Don't go to a company that's only grossing 5 million. They're not going to be able to pay you that, right?
Or not.
You need to go to an organization that can support your salary, right? So I was like, no, you're not going to change you. You're going to change the company. That was number one. I was like, okay, well, no, I know for a fact people with your experience with what you've done get the salary. Your salary range is fine. Your salary range is your salary range. Okay. I was like, change your tribe in meaning that you may not be able to talk to them about this. Find another
Mm.
tribe that you can talk to about your salary range and who are going to be
Yeah.
supportive and who may even have some better suggestions for you than lower your salary.
Because
So
that's
whenever
not
I
what
said
we're
lower your
doing in
salary, I
22.
was
We're
like,
not
mm-mm.
doing that.
I'd be like,
Mm-mm.
work on your self-identity, get your belief straight, change the companies you're at, change the companies you're talking to, change the filters on your Indeed and your LinkedIn. So you're only seeing six-figure jobs. So you're not even tempted to apply to a job paying you 65,000.
I'm glad.
Don't mess with me because
Say,
if y'all
okay,
want the tips, if you want them, I'll come with them.
right? And she just said, so that you can't even apply. But you know why she said that? Because she know y'all weak out there. Some of y'all, and that's not a bad thing. But she know, you're tempted. You're
We
tempted.
get tempted.
So don't tempt yourself. Change
It
that.
right. It affects our confidence, right? So it's these things you can do so you're not even tempted. And don't get me wrong, if you want 100,000 and you see a job that's paying like 89, you can apply because that's in a negotiable range, right? That's in a negotiable range. But if you're like LaTrice, I don't really know if I feel like going back and forth. I don't want to negotiate 15,000. Maybe it's 95 and you're comfortable negotiating 5,000, right? You could do that. But the more you can focus, that's what I'll say. Focus on the goal that you want. Make sure that you're taking in information, motivation that aligns with that goal that you want, that salary that you want, that life that you want. You at some point you're going to have to mute everything else and decide what you're not going to do. That's what I'm saying. I just went through this with one of my clients. But like I was saying, that other client, I had to tell her, like, no, 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 no. I'm in the industry. I know I have had other women go through this. Your salary range is fine. It wasn't even the highest, right?
Right,
It
right.
wasn't even, I was like, no, it's fine. She's like amazing, talented, like all these things she had, right? A resume, all these things she did for her company, brought in money, saved. I was like, no, 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 no. It's not your salary range. It's these other things. And we can work on that. But if what your tribe is saying is influencing you, you're going to have to find a new tribe that's supportive and maybe mute the other ones a little bit, at least right now about this particular subject. Maybe you talk to them about fashion and decorating, right?
Right, 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 right.
Maybe you talk to them about what's for dinner tonight. you know,
She said you mute them. You may need to mute them because they
you
you
have
you
to
don't
mute.
realize your friends, the people in your circle, your family, your friends, your tribe, they have a huge influence on you. The people that
Yeah,
you're around all the
yeah.
time you influence them, they influence you. And so anyone in your circle of trust that influences you to be less than who you are
Mhm.
or to be given less than what you're worth, we can't have conversations about my future and what I feel is best for me or compensation conversations because you're not really riding with me. In fact, you might need to get out my car because you don't want me to make enough to get gas. like, what are we doing here?
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is what I will be like. It's a little caveat. Depending on who they are and the tone of it.
Yes.
Because that uncle, that cousin, that partner is probably trying to solve the problem that you're unhappy, you're getting told no, it's rejection. They don't want to see you upset. So they're not the professional. So they're just telling you what
Yeah.
from their lived experience,
Experience.
they know how to solve your problem, which is, hey, if you, they're just giving you a suggestion of maybe you should lower your salary. They don't have the expertise to know, and that's not their realm. Maybe
Mm.
they're great mechanics, maybe they're great cooks, maybe they're a perfect partner. I'll share this quick story. So my husband, I was going through an identity change in my business. I think when we first met, I wasn't even for women of color, was it?
No, yeah, you were, but you were just shifting
I was just
brands.
shifting.
Yes.
I will tell you all. So I had been thinking about it. It had been on my spirit, and I was told my husband, I said, I think I just want to work with women. And he was like, why would you do that? You're gonna cut out 50% of the population. Like, men make quicker decisions with me. They paid me. Like I was like, but my heart and my spirit was with women. And then
Right.
when I really connected, I was like, I really only want to work with women of color or allies. I will say that. And I was like, my husband was like, this is a terrible idea. Like, what are you going to do to your business? This is bad, right? I went to this coach. He was actually a white guy who I recommend. And he was like, yeah, do it and put it on everything. Like ambitious women of color. It should go on your podcast. It should go on everything. And I was like, yeah. And I didn't do anything. And I sat on him and I tapped into every person in my tribe. And they all were like, no, this is terrible. This is a bad idea. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Every single person. But this coach who I had paid, who knows business, was like, do
Do it.
it. It took me about a month. And keep in mind, my whole tribe told me no. My whole tribe said it was a bad idea. Yeah, I did that. My income.
I was gonna say, look at her now.
my,
Look
look
at
at
her
me.
now.
My
Hey.
income shot up. I'm known for something right now. So like companies come to me. My point was, my point is that my tribe meant well. They meant
Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do.
in this case, they did mean well. None
Yes,
of them had businesses.
they didn't
They
know.
didn't know about a niche and they didn't know
Yeah,
all
they
the
didn't do what we did. That's right.
right. They didn't know that I'm going to show up better for people that I'm more connected to, that is on my spirit. They didn't see how passionate I was and the skill I have. They didn't see it. They were just like, you're cutting out 50% of the population. And how many people are only women of color? Did you do your research? I was like,
It's
no,
like
my spirit. Like, I was like, my
they were like,
spirit.
your spirit, that's not gonna pay any bills. But the wonderful, you gotta love them because they had your best interest at heart. And so
They
I'm
did.
glad that you said that. It's not that you kick them to the curb, but there are going to be individuals, and this is just my personal experience, that are in your cipher who may even do what you do. And they are the ones kind of sometimes whispering in your ear those negative things. And those are the individuals that I'm saying they got to get out the car. They got to get off the bus. You can't be in my cipher because
Let me
you're
tell y'all this.
that's like poison.
I'm grown. I already cut those people out of my life. No, seriously, that's the problem I don't have. Like,
And sometimes you don't realize it until you're
yeah, you
trying
end
to
up.
do something, and those are the individuals telling you, well, I don't think that's a good idea, or you should just don't say anything. And that alone, for someone to try to silence you when
Mm,
you feel like you're being unjust, or you're being unfairly treated, or you feel
mm.
like you need to speak up on your own behalf, you don't get to tell that person they shouldn't speak up for themselves. Like that's not my place, right? It's like, if anything, I'm like, yeah, let them know. But do it with class and do it with grace, right?
See, I'm the
Yeah.
same way. That boss one, I be like, tell
Tell
him,
them, but just,
tell
but
him.
make sure when you do have that conversation, you're in the right frame of mind and you lead with grace. Your intention is for them to have a better understanding of where you're coming from, not to talk down to them or even change their mind. Because when you share your experience and your values, if they can't see your worth, then again, I say, you don't want to be there anyway.
I'm gonna tell you, this is a whole nother episode about the energy. What Oprah say, you are responsible for the energy you allow around you.
Really, we
So
are.
I have been living that since I would have been in my 30s. So now all the people around me, like I know they have my best interest, even if I don't take their advice.
Because only because they don't know. That's the only
So
reason
that's
she
why I
doesn't
say
take your
mute
guys'
them.
advice.
Some
Yes, your
other
advice.
people may have to be blocked, or like Camille said, like I have no qualms about. I tell somebody, be like, is this somebody when you cut them off? Let them go, block them, black and bless them, bless and block, and whichever order you want to do it.
Block and bless and bless and block. I love it.
Block and bless them. Because it will affect your energy. When you are negotiating, you do need to be at your highest level of confidence.
Bias. Yes,
And you don't need somebody else's thoughts in your head. And that's what that is. And
absolutely.
I will say, I am someone who is just naturally the glass is half full, right? That's just my demeanor, right? Ever since I can, and I've had trauma in my life, right? But that's just my demeanor. And not saying you need to have a demeanor like that, but it does help to think about the benefit and the possibilities of good. You're going to have everybody and their mama telling you, what if you ask and you negotiate and then they rescind? Okay, then that wasn't the role for you. What if they
Right.
say no? Well, you've heard no before. Like then
But
then
they're
the
not the
role
only no. You know, they're
right,
with a no
right,
comes a yes. So
right.
there's a yes
If
out
they
there
say
for me.
no, then the ball is in your court. Then you say, oh, well, for me, I would say if they say no to your 10,000, I'd be like, well, what about 7,500? Like I started negotiations ain't over. If you, that's, or the ball is in your court for you to be like, oh, okay, well, if this is a no to the salary, could you make it a bonus? Which companies nowadays are much more likely to give a bonus because it's a one-time
One
thing
time
versus
thing.
ongoing commitment.
Yes, yes. And it hits that bottom line
It
once
hits that.
and it's
So I'm telling
done.
you some good stuff here. A no could just mean come a different way.
Mm-hmm.
A no could mean let's just get
Gotta you
let's
gotta go
let's just get
around it, go
creative.
aside, go the top,
If it's
the
a really
bottom.
great company and they're a little open, a no could just be let's just get creative. What I am seeing though is
Let's
less
just get
companies
creative.
are actually saying no.
No, they're saying I can't do this, but I can do this. Or
Right.
are you open to this?
That
And
part
I
right
see
there.
it even at my organization where they're like, the TA, our recruiters, our talent acquisition team will, they'll come and have conversations with us. And they're like, well, the person wants this. And we're like, okay, well, what about this? Are they open to this? Well, we can do that. And even sometimes a lot of organizations believe finance, they're a great group. We love them. We can't run organizations without them. However, we all are with the understanding that finance is there with a purpose, but at the end of the day, that HR business partner and that organization leader will have a conversation. And if it's not totally out of line or out of their budget, sometimes that leader can have a conversation with the HRBP, and the HRBP will sometimes lean their way because at the end of the day, we want to be able to support that business, right? And we want them to get the best candidate because who wants to lose on an amazing candidate? Nobody, not right now. It is hard. You can talk to someone today, you could call them back, and they're like, oh, I'm not available because someone else snatched them up that quick. It's so hard. I would hate to be in talent acquisition right now. I would hate it. My heart
Let me tell
hurts
y'all
for them
something.
because it's no
I'm
joke.
loving it. Ladies, let's negotiate these. I would say this is something you all need. Look, I'm like, everybody out here, listen to this again. I'm going to listen to this next time I have to negotiate something because I have to negotiate contracts and everything else. I'm going to listen to this. Like what Camille and I just discussed, I don't think I've ever had a real conversation like this, where we're talking about self-identity. We're talking about, being first generation, where we're talking about like societal norms and breaking the rules, where we're talking about, kicking some of your tribe to the curb, like all of these things that in school, and I have a business degree and I worked in HR. Like nobody is telling you these type of things that are real life things. Or even like, hey, you're gonna have to mute some of these people. You may even have to mute some of your own negative thoughts
Absolutely.
that are not allowing you to see what's on the other side, like that new house.
They are stifling your growth. And if you find yourself stifling your growth, then you must mute yourself. whatever that negative that you're spewing to yourself, because we all have that, our self-talk. And sometimes, you're talking to yourself and all of a sudden you're like, I can't believe I just said that. Like, what team are we on?
Oh, I
And so
like that.
and so we have to kind of just remind ourselves that I'm not saying I'm better than you. I'm not saying I'm better than you. I'm just saying I'm the best me. I'm in competition with me. So therefore, we coming out here, I'm the team me. So me and my team, we coming out here trying to get what we feel like we deserve. If an organization decides that what we're asking for does not meet, or they do not have the bandwidth to provide
Mhm.
us with what we need, then we have to decide, are we willing to negotiate for different things? Like, okay, 10,000 less off the salary, but you give me 10,000 bonus. I get that hit after 60 days or 90 days and we roll with it, and you do what you need to do. Or they pay you 10,000 and you get 1,500 for, your SHRM or your SPHR, whichever assessment you're taking, or you get professional development. And I think there's a huge shift in the world. I've spoken to several different people who are career coaches, but there is nothing like someone, especially for people in our field, that get it right, because there are coaches, and then there are career coaches, and then there are coaches that understand HR people. We are a little different because we're worse than all of the rest, in my personal opinion. And I'm okay with saying that because I'm talking about myself. We're worse than that. We are the absolute worst. We overthink everything. We over strategize. We're looking at all of the things that could go wrong, because this is what we have to do in our job on a day. So we out talk ourselves out of everything. And so we need someone to help us to be like, I need you to mute that. I need you to mute all of that and stop thinking about whatever you did at work, everything else. And I just want you to think about you. What is it that you want? What is it that you want to do? Because we may be in positions right now, even working in HR, that we really don't even want to do. We may be doing TA, but our passion is something else. Comp. We may be doing comp and our passion is ER. Then we need to get to a place where we know where is our passion lying, and then get in align with that passion, so that when we having those negotiation conversations, see, when you like what you do, you start talking about what you do, you start talking to those people about what you do, they like, oh, they sharp. So then you can say, run me my money. Because you can then have that conversation where they're like, oh wow, they're pretty on point. This person, this person has it. I need this person on my team. That's what we want in 22 and beyond. And that's why you all really you gotta find my girl LaTrice. You gotta find LaTrice. I could talk to you all day long. This is like what I always crave for, right? I need this like every 6 months or something. But LaTrice, like seriously, as always, it has been such an absolute pleasure. We have, it's all about, let's talk about it, that negotiating a six-figure offer. She's given you so many different tips. And you remember, if you are an HR professional, she told you a word, HR people. We are not just supporting, okay? We are income what? Generating and risk mitigating. That's what she said earlier. If you just came at the end, let me help you out. That's what she said. We are income generating and risk mitigating. But if for some reason you feel like you fall in that support space, we are not mad at you. And eventually we will get you to drink our Kool-Aid too. But for now, we're okay with you saying that. And we just say this: when you're out here negotiating for your six-figure salary, because that's what this is about, you asking for six figures and up, then you're okay with saying, I'm supporting this particular department that generates this amount of revenue. And so your expectation is based off the revenue. And that's how you get to ask for what you really deserve. Another nugget you gave us, LaTrice, was about that remote work, the great equalizer. I had to jot my notes. And then knowing what you want and ask for it. And don't be ashamed for asking for what you deserve. Did I get it right? Did I get it right, friend?
Oh my good. First of all, let me tell you, when you were talking, I was like, did I say that? This is good. This is good tips. We just start talking. I have notes. I ain't go by my notes. We just start talking. But I was like, oh, this is gonna change somebody's life.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. And so, you guys, again, as usual, LaTrice Huff is the bomb.com. If you're looking for LaTrice, she's always on LinkedIn. That is her playhouse. You can find her LaTrice Huff. That's LaTrice Huff, Huff. How else can the people find you, LaTrice?
I love that. LinkedIn is where I play the most. You can follow me on LinkedIn. You can DM me. I would love to hear your feedback from this. I follow Camille, so if you post in the comments, if you write a comment, I'm going to see it and respond to. But definitely follow me on LinkedIn and DM me. Tell me which tip resonated the most. What helped you out? Like, what are you about to try? Like, who's your
Yes.
tribe member? I want to know what tribe member you're going to kick out the car. Like, what's the I said meet them. Certain ones got to be like, side note, Camille, we got to come back and do a whole new thing on like your tribe and who to kick out versus who to mute.
Yes. So be on the lookout for that, y'all. There's two sets of people in your tribe. There's gonna be a time where you need to kick people out of your tribe, and you're still gonna do that with grace. And then there's gonna be a time where you just have to mute them just for a little while. And we're gonna get back together. LaTrice and I are gonna make a video about that too. But again, LaTrice, always such a pleasure. It's your girl, Camille B, the HR counselor. Until next time. Ciao, y'all.